Hey, what's up? Anyone can make a high hydration sourdough bread, but not many people dare to make a perfect 100% hydration sourdough bread. But I believe if you know some techniques, you can make it too. Let's get into this, shall we? First thing first, of course, without a healthy, super active starter, you're not gonna make a beautiful bread. And to handle a high hydration dough, you need one of these scraper and a bowl of water close to you. 7 gram salt, 350 gram water. If you are not using a very strong flour, make it 320 grams or even 300 grams. No one gonna know, right? I'm gonna bring the scale and measure about 70 gram of my active starter, which I fed it about 4 hours ago. FYO, I hate a super runny starter. I think it's not healthy. And the secret ingredients for any high hydration bread is bread strong flour. Mixy mixy, because I'm gonna give you another tips here. Of course, the dough is a shaggy mess, but it's not like a paste. It has some texture. If your dough doesn't look like this at all, if it's watery and look like a batter, it's almost impossible to make a good bread out of that. Anyway, I'm gonna take my time and mix this bad boy. And look at my hand. This is the technique. Like so, I bring some air and tension to this dough. Of course, it's not gonna come together anytime soon. Don't cry. Yep, remember that bowl of water and the scraper? From now, he's in charge of cleaning the mess. Voila, as simple as this. Cover it up and let the time to do the rest of the job. If your dough doesn't look like this at all, it's super runny, more like a paste, it's not gonna happen. Because the key ingredient in this specific recipe is a strong flour. Just make it lower hydration if you're gonna use lower protein flour. As higher hydration dough tends to ferment faster and my room temperature is so high today, I'm gonna ask help from air conditioner. Yep, that works. Dealing with any kind of sticky or very high hydration dough, imagine that you are touching a very hot surface. Quick touch and faster motions. Back to the dough after 30 minutes rest. Release the dough from the side of the bowl, wet up your hand as much as you need, and go ahead and give this bad boy a set of stretch and fold. Then grab the dough, lift it up a couple of times and fold it on itself. Use a scraper if you need. And now wet up your hand one more time. And time to round the dough up inside the bowl to create little more tension. Of course, with very fast motions. As simple as this, the surface of the dough is not sticky anymore. Look how jiggly it is. Cover it up and this time let it rest for 45 minutes. As the fermentation starts doing its job, I'm gonna be more gentle. 45 minutes later, time to start a series of coil folds. Only on first set, I'm gonna push the dough a bit. Go under the dough, stretch as much as possible and fold it on itself. Again, make sure to wet up your hands as much as you need. Once you finish all the sides and the dough kinda holding its shape, time to let it rest for another 45 minutes. And 45 minutes later, same thing gonna happen, but this time slightly more gentle. The last 45-minute rest and the last set of coil fold. Do you see those bubbles forming on the surface of the dough? That's the sign of faster fermentation, which is a very good sign. Your dough should look something like this. Now I'm gonna let it finish its ball fermentation for 1.5 hours. I wet up the surface, and that was a mistake for such extremely high hydration dough. You need to use flour, whether rice flour or semolina. From now on, you need to be so quick. Fold all the sides to the center, flip the dough slightly, and kinda trying to round it up with the help of the surface, but with very quick touches. You can oil up your hand or wet up your hand if you need, but again, the best way to do this is to use lots of rice or semolina flour. Now I'm gonna let it sit on the counter uncovered for 20 minutes, and 20 minutes later, shaping time. Be very generous using flour. It's like shaping a very high hydration ciabatta with one difficult difference. We need to shape this and create tension, make a petard out of it. Sounds impossible, but we need to do that. Flip the dough gently. Make sure nothing to stick anywhere. Fold one side to the center so you have more non-stick surface. And then stick to one simple and quick shaping method. God, I have stress. Alright, we are good. We are good. That's it. Make sure you're not pushing anything. Gently just fold it on itself and create little tension. That's it. No stitching, nothing. Just be quick and transfer it into the Benetton. Let it rest for 10 minutes before you do anything else. And now if the dough doesn't look perfect, you can use this technique called stitching. And what we do is simply stitching the dough. Of course, without tearing it. Yep, now we talk. Cold proof overnight, and let's go to the garden, shall we? We need a seeds, right? Remember my trees and flowers? We have some change. I planted some herbs recently. Rosemary, basil, mint. Alright, I know. Back to the baking. Actually, the dough is overproofed a bit, which is quite normal. You need to watch the fermentation for such a high hydration dough. Score it as confident as possible, not like me. Dust it up with little rice flour could help. Let's pray to get a nice loaf. Into the preheated oven. This is my oven adjustment. Bake at 230 degrees Celsius with a steam, then remove the steam, reduce the temperature to 210 degrees Celsius, move it to the upper rack and bake for another 25 to 30 minutes. For a slightly overproof dough, which I scored not very confident, quite nice. Perfect crust, I can't wait. Let's cut into it. If you wonder why 100% hydration, that's why. Do you see this beautiful, glassy, high hydration, gorgeous crumbs? It's super airy, pillowy inside. Super soft, smells amazing. Yes, it was very nice loaf, but you think that's it? I talked about perfection. Let me show you how. So let's go back all the way to the pre-shaping and shaping part. I let the dough to ferment for shorter time. No more over fermentation. Instead of spraying water on the surface, this time I use lots of rice flour. Because I think that's the better way to do it. You're gonna get confused as I'm correcting myself, so make sure to check the description for more details. Also, I didn't push the dough that much. With very gentle touch, just round it up with the help of the surface. Also, for the shaping time, I'm gonna dust up lots of rice flour on the dough. No need to get fancy while shaping. Make it as simple and as fast as possible. Don't push the dough, forget about stitching, releasing the air. Just create little tension, that's it. And now transfer it into the banneton with one quick, simple motion, and that's it. I'm not gonna make the same mistake, so I'm checking the temperature, 25 degree. This is the ideal temperature after bulk fermentation. Slightly lower than 25 degrees Celsius, also acceptable, because my room temperature is quite high. In this stage, just let it rest for 10 minutes. To make sure everything is there, I'm gonna stitch the dough. This is gonna help me to get maximum oven spring with this extremely high hydration. And to show how serious I am to make this recipe work for you, this time I'm gonna let it proof on the counter. Preheated the oven already because the room temperature is quite high. It's not gonna take more than 30 to 40 minutes at 26 degrees Celsius. How to know? Poke the dough gently. If it bounces back slowly, it's ready to bake. On a baking mat or baking paper, whatever you have. This time, I'm not gonna score it yet. The famous 5-minute score technique. Let me show you how it works. Into the preheated oven, everything gonna be the same so far. Pour boiling water on my lava stone, can be a baking pan too. If you're using Dutch oven, that's the best. This time, bake at 230 degrees Celsius for 6 minutes. Don't worry about it, cause after 6 minutes, we're gonna take the dough out and scoring would be much more smoother. Cause the crust already forming a bit and it's halfway there. Into the oven quickly, bake at 230 degrees Celsius for another 15 minutes. And this, my friend, is the moment of truth. Have you ever seen such a nice ear on 100% hydration sourdough? Let's consider this success, my friends. Gorgeous. This time I'm really proud of myself. And bake at 210 degrees Celsius for another 25 to 30 minutes. If you know, you know. Yep. And that's, my friend, is what I call it, a perfect 100% hydration sourdough bread. But hold on, let's celebrate after checking the crumb, shall we? Ho ho ho! I mean, look at it. Do I need to say anything? Alright, there you have it. A perfect 100% hydration sourdough bread. If you still wonder why 100% hydration sourdough, check this out. Super soft and fluffy inside, crispy and light outside. You got to try this. Keep baking and take good care of yourself.